Hello guys, and welcome to another Maximal Fire unboxing video. Today we are looking at the Direwolf Heavy Scout Titan, and similar to our last unboxing video, which dropped a couple of weeks ago actually, I thought that I would do a side-by-side comparison. So I got an old Forge World Direwolf and one of the new Legions Imperialis Direwolf box sets, and as I had them I thought let's just do a side-by-side again and look at the differences. Now, you know, there is some obvious differences here. This is resin, this is plastic, fair enough, but what I'm interested in knowing is whether or not there is any other differences with what you get in here. Has there been any sort of stealth changes to the terminals, to the card stock, etc, etc. So what we'll do is we'll very quickly unbox the old one. This should be nice and quick and simple because you've probably seen loads of these before, but just so we can put it side by side, let's get that out of the way and do this one first. So there you have it. Obviously the old thin terminal, which I think we're all coming to kind of expect now in the boxes, that did come in the Forge World version. They sent that, I have already pre-cut the sides of this. This is actually the second take of this video because unfortunately there was some weirdness going on with my camera, so hence why it's not a full unboxing of that. Cards are the main difference here. So paper. This was like the bane of most AT players' life, is when they decided to keep sending us cards in paper and stuff. It's awful, really hard to use. It gets ripped very easily. Yeah, generally not great. Obviously, and it comes at the back of the instruction manual, which was sort of full colour. Although obviously no painting, just no colour plates, just coloured, let's just say. This is the neutron laser version. One of the biggest criticisms of the Forge World one was its pose was really static and naff. It looks like they've corrected that now with the new one, or rather made some updates to make it look a little bit more dynamic. So that's nice, but let's put that to one side, and I'm just going to leave this kind of over here because we'll come back and check this later. But let's bring in the new plastics. So one of the biggest benefits of the changes, or rather bringing this out in plastic, was that we've gone from one of the Forge World ones, one of those costing £35, to two in plastic costing, I think in torments about £38, so it's nearly double your money, which is great. Although saying that, it was one of the better Forge World kits because it was about the same price as 3 armatures, and if you've used the armatures then you know just quite how much difference there is in the amount of resin that you get in one of the Direwolves. So anyway, let's get in. Standard thin Legions Imperialis things. I'm a little bit disappointed that we're not seeing different types of bases. They've just done like one style of each, and although you can obviously customize them, it would be nice to see a little bit more variety and a few more different versions come out, and one of each of 2 different styles would be nice, just so both your models don't have to look the same. That looks like the standard sheet for which came with Adeptus Titanicus. No real changes there. And then the plastic sprues. So I'm really looking forward to trying to put this together. It looks like it is one full chassis sprue per Titan, so whereas like the War Hounds were sort of split half and half and you got 2 on one sprue, it looks like they're all separate, which is good if you kind of bought one of these boxes and wanted to split with your mates, because it looks like as well we've got 2 weapon sprues, so you've literally got 2 independent sprues. That's one Titan, that's another Titan. If you want to give one to your mate, you can do, or if you can obviously keep them yourself. In Adeptus Titanicus, there's not many people who are going to run more than one of these. it's quite common to see at least one. Some Legios more than others, like Audax for instance, they're going to see multiples of these, probably 2 at least in their forces. So, you know, if you're buying this for Adeptus Titanicus, 2 of these is great if you're an Audax player, or, you know, a light maniple player who is using multiple light maniples, or wants to take 1 in a maniple and 1 in a auxiliary slot. But most people are probably only going to use 1. But what is good to see is that there is 1 of every type of weapon. I'm not sure if there is options for magnetization that exist here. I'm sure we can probably work something out. There's nothing obvious that you can use for magnetization like this. These points here would probably be where you'd want to drill some magnets into and then magnetize it to, like, the well, what's the equivalent of a turntable? The thing which attaches it to its carapace. But it looks like an easy enough fix to kind of stick in a couple of 5mm magnets into that and magnetize the whole lot. But having 1 of each weapon is great. Obviously with the old Direwolf, you got 1 weapon and it was whatever weapon it was that you ordered, be it the volcano cannon or the neutron laser. But in this one as well, you've also got the, I'm trying to find it on here, where is it? I think it's a multiple piece thing, but the conversion beamer, these bits and that. So yeah, nice. So in here we have the updated gubbins. Okay, so the positive is that these are now in card form rather than paper, which is amazing. That's great, a significant upgrade from the previous Direwolf weapons. Thank you very much, Games Workshop. There's also enough for 2 of each weapon, and we did a podcast recently where we looked at the new conversion beamer weapons and we talked about, like, our thoughts on these. So we didn't have the points at the time, so 35 points. I think that's really well pointed in the Adeptus Titanicus for the C beamer. I think that's going to be an interesting alternative to somewhere in the middle between the volcano cannon and the neutron laser, so that's good. Like that, that's good. There's only 1 terminal. There's 2 Titans, there's 1 terminal. On their website, GW said that this shipped with 2 terminals. So is this an oversight, or have they made an error on their website? I did check online because I'd heard rumours of this, so I was kind of prepared for this outcome when I opened my my set. And on the Warhound box that they've just released, it states only 1 Warhound terminal, but it states 2 Direwolf terminals. Now, not shipping enough terminals for both Titans is a weird oversight for GW to make, especially with the Direwolf, which is this is the only place that you can currently get the terminal. You can't get the terminal through an add-on pack, like the boxes of terminals. You can't get them in maniple boxes at the moment. This is the only place, and this box is the only place that you can currently get the terminals, or in the old Forge World ones if you've got it. So to not include 2 is a really weird thing for GW to do. It's still very weird if they're only sending 1 in the Warhound boxes as well. I don't have a Warhound box to unbox, so if you do have one of those, please let us know if it did ship with only 1 in the comments. With those, at least you got access to other terminal cards through, like, the starter box and stuff. But even so, if you bought one of these boxes hoping to expand your force from 2 to 4 Warhounds, then you're going to be a terminal down, and at which point you're forced to kind of print something yourself, which is pretty poor. I'm not overly pleased with that, and I'll probably be messaging GW and asking them to send me the advertised additional terminal for the Direwolf, because it was all over their website and it was there when I pre-ordered. With regards to the actual terminal, however, a brief glance, most of it seems to be exactly the same. I'm trying to read upside down as well, which is a little bit tricky, but certainly all of the key elements of it are the same. There is some slight formatting changes between the special rules on the back for the Heavy Scout Titan. I will need to read into this a little bit more where I can read it properly. We might, if there is any changes, we might talk about it on the next podcast. But so you can see that, I'll stick those up. You can pause it at this point if you want to check for yourself. And then obviously finally the rulebook, which is now paper, black and white. Doesn't really make too much of a difference with this, mostly because there wasn't really anything in the way of colour plates or anything interesting in the old instruction manual. And the main difference, obviously other than it being plastic, is they've changed the pose, so the new pose looks a lot better than the first one did, and I'm interested to see how I can make that look. So there you go, guys. That is the new boxes of the Direwolf Heavy Scout Titan. Must a little bit deflated, I think, on this one for the first time ever. Really excited by the actual model, that's great, but as an Adeptus Titanicus player, I'm quite disappointed with the decision to not throw in one extra tiny piece of cardboard, which would have been like a negligible cost for GW to provide into the box. And if this is kind of like the new normal with these dual Titan boxes where you get two Titans but only one terminal, that's poor. I'm not happy with that. But I guess the flip side is you've got two nice plastic models for the same price as one of the old ones. But even so, I've talked already how, like, I think that a lot of the, including the weapons, including the terminals in these new boxes, is like a significant leveling up for AT, and it's been great to see. But this is the first time that I've kind of felt like a little bit like, have you really thought about this? It'll be interesting to see if GW update the website as a result of some of this, because I imagine they'll be inundated with lots of feedback with where's my extra terminal. But I would imagine that is it, and they are more likely to update the website to say one terminal than they are to say add an additional terminal into this box. So fingers crossed they make this all downloadable at least, so you can print them all at your leisure, but it's obviously not ideal. But that's it as far as the unboxing is concerned. I will put one of these together this afternoon, and at the end of this video I will provide what it kind of looks like. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you again next time.
Thank you.